for today. I'm very proud of Susan. I'm very excited with Susan. She's such a beautiful light worker. She's always so caring, takes the time to talk with you. It's just such a sweet lady. And Susan has been a student of spiritualism for 24 years, 25 years. And her first teacher was Reverend Pete Monroe. I always remember him from Herman Grove, especially here, who guided her through several phenomena she was experiencing. For several years, Susan attended classes and institute at Herman Grove, and she fondly recalls meeting her first guide during Circle in the medium's cabin and learning to work with a pendulum in the sunshine cabin. Spirit next introduced Susan to Reverend Millie Landis. Millie was just fabulous, who shared her gifts of healing and mediumship every Thursday night during Circle and spiritual development at Fraternal Spiritualist Church in Kensington. Millie's generosity, patience, and deep devotion to spirit and the mysteries of communication with souls who have transitioned deepened Susan's own work with spirit. In 2012, Susan met Reverend Anthony Chapman, who's with us today, by developing deep meditation, raising and lowering energy, working with balance and grounding, and traveling through the levels of consciousness. And Reverend Anthony was able to teach Susan trance mediumship, the most beautiful journey with spirit so far. Susan is blessed and grateful for these wise and loving mentors. When Susan isn't traveling in the heavens, she works as the administrator of an assisted living and has her degree in gerontology. Let's welcome warmly, please, Susan O'Shaughnessy.
Kevin's very much part of my talk. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is my first time speaking at a Sunday service here. And I want to thank Reverend Rosie for inviting me and Reverend Deborah for her confidence. I've been coming here for about 2 years and have gotten to know many of you well. I feel at home. So I'm comfortable sharing an experience I'm involved in, which for me confirms the deep healing love of spirit and the belief that we can continue to communicate with souls who have transitioned to the free side. I would like to introduce you first to my friend and next door neighbor, Mika, and her mom, also my friend and neighbor, Astrid. This experience and love story is all about Kevin, Mika and Lou's son, and Astrid's grandson. I met Kevin and Mika in November 1999 when they moved into our complex. Kevin was 10 years old, and my two daughters were 8 and 10. They became fast friends and stayed friends as adults. They were a trio and full of adventure, keeping us on our toes, right, Mika? Kevin was funny, bright, creative, and a joy to be around. Please meet Kevin. He was 31 in 2021 when he crossed to the free side, but he's a great communicator. It was just after New Year's, and we were in the depths of COVID. Kevin had a job opportunity in Brownsville, Texas, So Mika agreed to drive Kevin, his 2 cats, and a friend. January 4th, 2021. They got as far as El Paso, Texas, when the unthinkable happened. Kevin was found unconscious in his hotel room and transported by ambulance to the local ER. No one, not even a parent, was allowed in the hospital. Remember, this is 1 year into the COVID shutdown. However, Mika was allowed to be with Kevin, hold his hand, and after hours of medical consultation, was guided to remove Kevin from the life support machine. But it wouldn't shut off.
Oh.
Awkwardly, the doctor explained that they would have to turn off the equipment by removing the plug from the wall socket. For just a flash of a second, Mika acknowledged to herself, "How, Kevin?" The drive back to Chula Vista without Kevin, but with his belongings, 2 cats, and the friend, was unthinkable. But random little personal touch-ins kept Mika's broken heart beating. A few days after Mika was home, Kevin came to me in a dream. He wanted to make sure that his mother kept his yellow box. He also mentioned a fish in this dream. I gave Mika the message and was amazed when she said she had just given it to a friend of Kevin's. Wow, there really was a yellow box. By the way, Mika asked the friend to return it. Here it is. And the fish? It was the most elaborate and hand-painted of all of Kevin's bombs. Getting a feel for Kevin's personality? Kevin started getting really good with bringing us specific items. I'm going to share a few, but there are so many. One day, Mika found a spoon in her garden. 2 days later, I found a spoon. There was lots of silverware for a while, mostly spoons. Kevin began practicing with money. Mika was at the mall and found 3 dimes and a penny. Remember, Kevin was 31 when he passed. I was at a super busy cheesecake factory and saw 3 of the shiniest pennies I had ever seen at the entrance to the restaurant. "Okay, Kevin, if this is you, they will still be in the entryway when I come out," I said to him. Dozens of people passed in and out while I dined, but when I left 2 hours later, those shiny pennies were still there waiting for me. Mika was attending several meetings during the first 2 years after Kevin's transition. Support, grief, Al-Anon groups. On the way to one of her meetings, walking in a grassy area, Kevin told her to look down. She came home with a bracelet that said Mom. Now Astrid, remember I pointed out Astrid to you. Astrid was feeling a little left out. She needed her own sign that Kevin was all right. Finally, she got her touch in. In her home is a little musical palm tree that Kevin gave her. It plays the song Happy when you wind it up. It now plays randomly from time to time, and Astrid feels Kevin with her. On a recent visit to Temecula, Mika was driving and I was in the passenger seat. Kevin came to me and said, "Stop, turn around." Of course we did, not knowing why, but sure there would be some connection. When we circled back to the previous intersection, we noticed the cross street was Kevin Place. Lou, Kevin's dad, enjoys these stories and the happiness they bring Mika, but he's skeptical. Great coincidences, he believes. Recently, Kevin had me ask Lou the significance of the word feather. Lou had no recollection. A couple weeks later, Lou shared that while cleaning out his office, he found the memory chest that he and Kevin used to store the valuable items they had collected when Kevin was a little boy. What do you think one of those treasures was that Lou found in the memory chest?
Feathers.
A feather. These are wonderful moments for my friends. Intimate, special, healing, and love-filled. As a witness, participant, and spiritualist, here are a few thoughts I'd like for you to consider. Death of a loved one is one of the most painful events we experience. A tragic death, an unexpected death, and the death of a child are crushing. We enter a physical place called grief and attempt a healing process. There is no time allocated for this process. It keeps changing. There are many support options for grieving and healing, but I can attest that through mediumship and sharing a message from a loved one who has crossed over, even just a couple of words, yellow box, is a strong validation that the loved one is okay, just in another energy form. This is spirit. This is healing. It is not easy for loved ones to cross back to the earth plane through this thick, dense energy to give us a message. Giving us a name, a couple of words, a smell, takes a lot of work. TV shows are just that, TV shows. Don't expect 30 minutes of conversation. The person receiving the smallest message will be so touched if you are sincere. If you get a message, get out of your own way. Don't overthink, interpret, or question the message. Your job is to give what you get. The rest is between spirit and the receiver. Just like any gift or talent, it requires dedication, commitment, and practice. Learn, respect, and obey the rules, universal laws, church principles, and ethical policies are in place for many reasons. We all have gifts and different styles of sharing them, but they should all be for the highest good, love-based, and should always be a form of healing. Is this real? Maybe it is just a coincidence. I believe it's real. I call it synchronicity. In conclusion, I'd like to share a couple of thoughts from Kevin. He added these this morning, so bear with me. The evening Cassie, Vicki, and I met Kevin and Mika was in November. Astrid, here we are. Astrid's birthday had just passed. Happy birthday, Nan. It was just before Thanksgiving, November 23rd, and the night of the full moon, which was why Cassie, Vicki, and I were outside to begin with. Kevin was born during a lunar eclipse. He's thrilled we're here and talking about his journey. He's saying, look at the wall behind the altar, the sconces, the beautiful picture. They're all yellow. It's like we're in a yellow box. Thank you.